This is episode 205. Stop counting your future money. My name is Stephanie Laynes. I'm the owner of the Stephanie Laynes Institute Online Esthetician School and the owner of the SLI Online Esthetician School podcast. Now, if you are not a student in our online esthetician school, then you probably know we actually have a special podcast called the Money Podcast, and it's just for students who are enrolled in the online esthetician school. And that whole podcast is themed around money. So, one of the episodes that I absolutely love is episode number 7, and that's Stop Counting Your Future Money. In this podcast, I really do break down and explain to a lot of people who are in the school, who are listening to this, and we have money themed podcast episodes that all have to do with being a business owner and then how you earn income and your emotional responses to them, right? Another one is your money story. What is your money story and how do you create a new money story? Do you understand profit? Like all of these themes are in our money podcast. In this specific episode, I'm going to really talk about the emotional response that estheticians and beauty professionals do when they're counting their future money. And this is a good example. You have a whole week, you go through the week, you count how many clients you have, you guesstimate how much money you're going to make for the week. You're counting money that has not received yet, right? You're going through all of the orders that you've had in the previous month, and you already know if you have a website or you've sold retail and you're expecting to make more than what you made the previous month. So you're starting to count money in the future, money that hasn't arrived yet. And that is a very important thing, especially when I start working with estheticians who are forecasting or predicting or dictating how they're going to respond when they get the money. And this is why it's important because if you have a client that cancels and you went through the week and you thought that you were going to make 5,000 this week for all the clients that were booked, but you actually only wind up making 2,500, this now is going to have a emotion connected to the fact that you had so many clients that canceled because you had already counted on the money that you had not received yet and you put an emotion attached to it. And this comes from money issues. And we all know most of us at some point in our life have had money issues. We carry those money issues from our personal life into our business life, and it actually gets magnified. It does not get fixed. So if we are someone who was raised on or raised in a family where money was always a problem, we typically innately take that as we grow up. And then we also respond the same way. And then we open up a business and we also take that money issue into that business as well. I've always told people who are new into becoming a business owner, every single money problem and money issue you have will absolutely be magnified in your business. So if you're someone who thinks of money in a certain way because of the way you were raised, or you always know that your parents were always stressed out with money. And as much as you didn't know why they were stressed out with money, you're finding yourself also stressed out with money. You're going to bring that stress to your business. And then your clients are going to feel that you're stressed, right? So, one of the things that I try to help people really break down, and I know it's hard when it's something that you were raised with. It's hard because when you were in corporate America, you got paid every 2 weeks. You kind of knew what that check was going to be. You knew you were getting a check in 2 weeks. So, it's future casting, which is what it's called, is something that, especially coming from corporate world, corporate America, is what keeps the working class. Because if something changes, the emotional side to that is going to be more devastating than what actually really happens. There's an emotional attachment to money that is supposed to be given to you, even if you have not arrived into that space. It's in the future. So when we start looking at it from a business owner perspective, I'm always really intentional with you can't start counting what you don't have. You can only work with what you have. And what you have is what the clients have come in and given the business money, which is why when we start talking about multiple streams of income, you cannot rely 100% on just clients coming into the business to give you a money exchange. You need to set up a very strong retail plan. You need to set up gift certificate plans. You need to have a website where you can earn income 24/7, where you can sell both retail and gift certificates. So if anyone wants to come to the business at 5 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning, they can give your business money. And that has nothing to do with whether you're in a service or not. And that has to come with understanding that I can, and I do have the ability to earn income in my business when it's not attached to a service. And breaking away from that idea for a lot of us is very hard. It's a very difficult space because we have imagined ourselves being estheticians. We know what we want. We know how much we want to charge. We know how many clients we want to see in a week. We've attached our income based on who physically comes into the business. When you get to another level in your business where you embrace having more than one way to earn income, then you're allowing money to come in and you're not dictating how it comes. It comes with a one on one service and I get a retail sale, right? It comes with a website sale. It comes with the gift certificate sale. It comes with someone sending me a message saying that they would like to order something. I send them an invoice. I put it in the mail. I accept all the different ways that are coming in. So if I am open and I allow all of those income streams to be a part of my business, then I cannot sit there and continue to count things in the future, so-called money in the future for clients coming this upcoming week, which we haven't experienced yet. And I can't attach an emotion to it. And the emotion is where we have to acknowledge that someplace in our upbringing, we have a money wound. We have a money issue. And we are literally bringing that to the business. And that is going to come with some emotions to it. Right. And here's the thing, depending on how you're looking at money in the business when it comes to services, if you are able to look at your books and not have emotions tied to it, then it won't matter if someone cancels or not. And the way you start to understand that even if a cancellation comes and you think that you might lose out on income, you have other ways of earning income, even if that service doesn't happen. That's why it's so important to have multiple streams of income. When I have my Facebook class and I have a whole classroom dedicated to creating an amazing Facebook community for your business, that's one of the reasons why Facebook is so important for you and your business, where you're communicating, because you can put in there last minute cancellations. You can post in there. You can talk to people. You can let them know that you have an opening. And most of the estheticians that I have coached, and they communicate really well in their community, in their Facebook community, are able to fill that appointment and not lose that money. So then there's not an emotional response anymore to cancellations, because now the communication has become extremely important in that Facebook community. And there are people who do and want to see you, and you've made it available for them to have the opportunity. The key here is the communication. So once you step back from that emotion when it comes to trying to count your books, right? Count your appointments. And then when you get a cancellation and you have this whole big emotional breakdown and you start looking at your business as income streams, then you're going to try as much as you can to improve your communication so that you can be and fill when you have a cancellation. I'll never forget, I was talking to an esthetician. These are one of the questions that I do ask when I coach. How do you feel when a client cancels for whatever reason? There's an emergency or they double book themselves or they're not able to come. How do you emotionally, physically feel when someone cancels? Do you feel upset? Do you feel insulted? Do you feel like someone has wasted your time? Did you feel like, and the emotional response in that space is you've lost some money. If your first go to when you get a cancellation is you lost money, there's a money problem. Because if that one cancellation can throw you off mentally, then we need to understand why you're attaching emotions to it. When it's simply a easy way to fix if you had great communication with all of your clients. Do you have a waiting list that you can go to? Do you have a method of communication where you can let people know when it's canceled and how to fill it? Is there space there, right? Are you able to do that in a way where you can get it filled? Is it something in that cancellation that you could possibly use as an admin day? Is it something that you can do where you can still be doing money making activity and it not be a service? Like there's different ways to earn in that space, but have you attached emotion to it? And if you have, we have to get down to the root reason as to why. Because when you have a business where you earn more, you can earn money outside of services, then it doesn't become such a big deal on the emotional side because now you have money making activity. Your website is open 24/7 while you're in that service. While you're sleeping, your website is open. While you're sleeping, your Facebook page is open. Like, we have to understand the way we were raised and the way we look at money is going to affect our business. It's going to affect our business. It's going to come with some emotional baggage and it's going to show up every day. I'll never forget, and I said early on in my podcast that a lot of the money problems that I had in my business was one of the reasons why I didn't pay myself for the first 10 years consistently. I didn't pay myself first in my business. And now I absolutely do. And there's no emotion to it. It just is, right? And so I had to get to that space though. I've been a business owner for 20 years and I'm always intentionally letting go of or breathing out or not attaching a response to money in and money out. So when I break down all of the money things that we have to keep in mind, the emotions behind money, why we have to be open and having that conversation, because there are some of us who don't talk about money and being a business owner. That is the whole purpose of you being an owner. You want to control how much you make, when you make it, how you spend it, and everything else when it comes to a business owner. So we have to now have money conversations, right? Because then when your business grows and your clients become more consistent and you start becoming a better communicator, and people are buying from you in your retail space, they're buying from your website, there's a lot more consistency happening. You're going to also have to have a money conversation about being able to receive more income. It's very interesting when I work with estheticians who make it to six figures and they continually earn six figures every year in their business. There's an emotional side that comes from how we were brought up, our upbringing, and are you worthy of receiving this? Are you accepting that you made this kind of income? There's an emotional conversation that has to happen. I always find it's at the six figure mark. And it's hard for folks to go from five figures to six figures. And then the next one is the six figures to the seven figures. It's an emotional conversation when it comes to earning. And do you think you deserve it? Because in our industry, we don't celebrate success that much. We celebrate the struggle. If you're in a Facebook group and you listen or you read all of these estheticians who are constantly complaining about their business, we will support more people who are struggling than the ones that have success. Because we feel the ones that have success don't need support when it's actually the opposite. Successful businesses need even more support because it's not just you have consistent money every day, consistent money every week, every month. You're going to have to emotionally also accept that you're earning this much income. I had an esthetician that I was working with. We would do her client appreciation every year. And part of that client appreciation event planning, we would do it for a year. And the last 2 months, I started bringing up the emotional conversation. And she knew that it was coming because it's something that an esthetician or any business owner, when they are able to earn a lot of money at one time, you have to emotionally accept that you deserve it, that you are receiving it, not that you worked for it, but that you're open to receiving it. So we were working on the client appreciation. Our goal was to do, I want to say 35, 40K in 6 hours. I think that's right. I can't remember. But in the last 2 months of the planning, when she had everything together, we started talking about the emotional side. And I started asking questions about, are you okay with accepting that much money at one time in 6 hours in one day? You go from zero to $40,000, which is a lot of transactions and a lot of money coming into your hands in a very small amount of time. Emotionally, you're going to need to accept it. Are you ready to accept it? Of course, she would say yes. And as we would get closer, I would leave memos for her on Instagram, giving her audio. Because one thing about me is that I find audio is a really big connector for me, especially with estheticians, because we are audio and visual learners. We learn by seeing, we learn by listening, right? So when I coach, I love leaving little snippets where it's going to be an audio response where I'm speaking to her. And so all the way down to the week of the event, I was encouraging her, leaving her little nuggets every day, and then the morning of. And it wasn't that we were not prepared. It wasn't that she didn't have everything. She had everything. Checklist on checklist on checklist. Everything was ready to go. The last thing for her to do was to let go, not tie emotion to it, not get worked up, not get nervous, not try to self sabotage it, but accept and receive all of the money coming to her in that 6 hour time frame. And that's such a hard space if you're someone who's not used to getting that much money at one time. And I told her this. I said, the years that I have been a business owner and the more income that I make, a lot of it has nothing to do with planning or prepping. It's the acceptance of it. So it's accepting that I deserve, I'm able to receive it, it belongs to me, and all I sit back and do is receive the income. And then I change the emotions around it. And so one of the things that she made sure that she did, one, she's not in charge of the money. So she wasn't there again, counting any money, counting how many people gave the money. Like there was nothing of that that was handed off to someone. At the end of the day, her goal was to get this, and she would have a total that would be handed to her of how much she sold in retail, how much she sold in packages from the entire day, and then sit with that emotionally. And so she said it. She's like, every year we get more and more. And right up into the week of, it's when the emotions start. Am I worthy enough to deserve this? There's an emotional tie to how we earn income. I'll never forget there was a TikTok that I watched, and this lady really broke down the whole illusion of money, right? And I've said this before, money is not real. And the way we attach emotions to it is by design. We are systematically instilled from a very young age to believe that money has all of this power, and everything we do is because of money, and how we live is because of money, when really money isn't real at all, right? It's a byproduct, it's energy. So when I work with someone and we are discussing increasing prices, right? How to communicate price increases, how to create a new money story, right? Not wallowing in, I wasn't raised in a family where we had a lot of money, or repeating your parents' money story. All of those things have to be intentionally broken. So the reason I create a whole money podcast just for estheticians who are in the school is because money and the conversation of money, the emotion around the money is very, very important. It can make or break your business. If you're someone who does not feel that you deserve anything that you're doing, you're going to sabotage how you earn. And it's going to be a big struggle because you are comfortable in struggling. When you get out of that space and you accept that you are worthy of getting this, you've done the things to receive it, and you emotionally allow it, that's when a lot of things change. So I'm really proud of the Money podcast. I'm very grateful that I have a platform where I can actually deep dive into money issues that we have as business owners, especially when it comes to aesthetics. Because, like I said, we don't celebrate businesses that are successful. We commiserate with businesses that struggle and they don't make a lot of money and they're vocal about it. We praise and support struggles versus success. And that also has an emotional response to it as well. This episode is sponsored by the SLI Online Esthetician School. Please click the link down below to take my free masterclass as well as start your first day of school.